Thanks everybody for coming. It's a nice turnout for the launch of our new Orbit program. So as I mentioned, I'm Jamie, and we're just going to be kind of giving an overview of this new mentorship program that we're launching here at the space. Some initial details about how it's going to work, and then we actually have a set of mentorship groups that are going to be starting up in the very near term, kind of in the immediate future. So we're going to announce what those groups are, and each of them has kind of a separate organizer / mentor that's going to be leading that group. So we're going to give each of them a chance to kind of give a quick introduction to themselves and to kind of just their initial ideas for the group. It's Orbit is our fancy name for the new mentorship program. You can advance on to the next slide. So I just wanted to say a quick word about Tech Valley Game Space as a whole, who we are, what kind of our mission is, as I see it, as a group. So we're a collective of game developers of all different skill levels. So our community is comprised of local people who are professionals who work at game studios in the area. We have a lot of members who are indie game developers who are working on their own projects, or kind of hobbyists, like they might work some other full-time job and then have like a passion project that they're working on here, like after work hours. And then we also have freelancers, folks who are just doing bits of contract work here and there, whether it's digital art or like coding for individual projects. And then we have kind of a set of folks that we're always trying to make sure that we encourage to join the community. Everyone's encouraged, of course, but we especially try to do as much outreach as possible to aspiring game developers. So people who might just be starting to learn about game development, or maybe didn't even realize that they were interested in making a game until they came to one of our events and thought like, oh, this seems like a cool, fun activity. So we're trying to just encourage anyone and everyone in the capital region to make a game at some point in their lives, and not just encourage them to do it, but like really support them in every way that we can. So that's kind of what our community is all about. So the idea when we started the group was to kind of combine two things that already sort of existed and are flourishing at the moment. One is kind of this vast array of different co-working spaces, and game space is not like a term that we made up. There's different ones all over the place, even if they don't all have game space in the title. This one, there's Buffalo Game Space, there's us, ones in Philadelphia, and New York City and all over the place. So, there's ones in larger cities, but there's also increasingly starting to be, game development specific sort of community spaces like this one popping up all over the place. So we were really excited about this trend, and, we just generally we thought, why not here? Let's see if we can do that. So that was the first piece of the puzzle. If you want to advance to the next. The other piece of the puzzle that we were really excited and encouraged by was seeing all these groups starting up all over the place, nationally and internationally, that are trying to encourage new game developers and provide kind of diversity-focused like education programs and education initiatives, right? So there's actually a lot kind of in our vicinity here in the Northeast. Like Pixels is based in Montreal, and Code Liberations in New York City. And some of these are also like I said, kind of national organizations that are starting to like set up almost like little franchises or local chapters all over the area. So this is really exciting to us. Everybody that's a part of this community believes that diversity is a good thing and something that we all want to encourage. And so we have a lot of people who have kind of flocked to this community, and I'm really proud, and I've just been really invigorated by like all of you joining this community that we had no idea when we started, if it would become this like hub. We knew we wanted it to be this community hub, but it's really kind of taken off in that direction. That's because of all of you and your enthusiasm for this idea. So the basic idea was to combine these two pieces, right? Community space for like independent game developers, freelancers, anybody who might be working from home, give them a space to kind of come together as a community, and then connect that community with all the other folks who want to learn how to make games, right? So, we're not just here to make our own games necessarily, we're here to help others as well. So, we're really focused on like local. My personal belief, which I think, quite a few folks here share, hopefully, is, you can make a big impact, on a larger stage through local action, right? So I grew up in the capital region, and I knew I wanted to make games from a really early age. But at the time, I just wasn't really sure where to go, like what outlet, where could I go to kind of learn? I actually wandered into Vicarious Visions in like high school time. I just walked in. This is the only place I knew of locally that was like, oh, I've heard of them, they make games. And they were very kind to me. I happened to, first person I met was the HR, head of HR there, so she was very kind and answered a lot of my questions, and it was very accommodating. So like, if I had had a different experience there, I might have, like, who knows, I might have gone on a different track. I thought like, oh, game development is just really harsh, thing where, you can't just stroll into their offices, what the heck, like, who knows? But just the fact that I was encouraged in that small way, like, made a huge impact on me. So, I think there's a lot of folks locally who are really willing to, who basically share these values and this vision that we have, right? But one of the things that I've always found about the capital region is, there's a lot of cool stuff happening, but a lot of it is like, everybody's kind of in their own little bubble, right? So, I don't know if it's just like the fact that geographically we're a little spread out, so if there's like a cool thing in Schenectady, like, it takes a while for people who are focused in Troy to like necessarily hear about it and connect with those folks. I don't know, I'm still not entirely sure what it is. If there's like a cultural thing in the region, I don't know. But, we really want to just kind of take all this cool stuff that's happening in all these separate bubbles and, like I said, kind of create this communal hub where we can kind of connect all these folks who are working in this space together and give them a location to collaborate. So, you can go ahead. Yeah, so we want to, this is a little harsh. It's not to say that we want to, pop everybody's bubble, but we do want to kind of, just meld things together or, give people a chance to hop between bubbles a little more or communicate between bubbles even would be good. Cool, so we can hop on to the next one. So that's kind of, we do lots of things, lots of initiatives. Everything we do is volunteer driven, and I'm really proud of the amount of different programs that we've been able to set up just from people, of all different experience levels coming together, working together, and just being incredibly generous with their time and efforts. So just a huge thanks. Can't say it enough. Thank you to all of you, who have supported this community and really made it what it is. And like I said, it's kind of, we have people from all these different sort of spheres that are, kind of starting to become aware of us and join our community more and more. And what we spend a lot of time thinking about, and that's one of the things that's kind of led to this, the way we're thinking about this new mentorship program, is, what does each group kind of need that they're not already able to easily obtain? Especially local needs, I guess. So, so we have these different types of folks. Have icons for them. I think I was going to put text labels under these. These icons correspond to things in my mind. So we've got, for instance, right, got local game studios, right? Generally, they need to hire the best talent. That's one of their key needs. And so we want to, of course, encourage them to hire locally, if possible. And, a lot of times, there are certain outlets, certain game studios might have an existing relationship with folks at local universities like RPI that have a game degree. So some of the folks come out of those programs like GSAS and they're able to just go straight into local game studio jobs. But increasingly what we're finding is our community can be and is increasingly becoming a valuable resource for all these local game studios who are looking for talent. Right? They're starting to come to us, which is really cool, and just ask when they have openings. Just ask if we know anybody, because they know there's a lot of people here in our network who might be interested and have the appropriate skills. However, one thing that we've noticed and about the area is, there's still some skill gaps as well. We still occasionally have folks coming to us, for example, saying oh, we're looking for an HTML5 game developer that really has a ton of experience and loves to code in just JavaScript directly. And we're kind of, racking our brain who among us loves to write in straight JavaScript, Turns out not so many of us at the moment, as kind of far and wide as we kind of post these things. So, so we're realizing, increasingly there are some areas where if we can have one of these local studios that has a consistent need for a certain type of discipline, right? Like they always need 2D pixel artists. Why don't we encourage them to maybe set up like a mentorship program here around that topic? Devote somebody's time. Like doesn't need to take a lot of time. It can be once a month. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever. To then like helping train people to do that, just through some informal education initiatives, right? So it's a little bit quicker than adding like a full course at like a local university. We can just start up a mentorship program here. And in many cases, we already have some folks in each area who are willing to do that. But we're our goal is to use this program to draw in more local game studios and encourage them to connect some of their more experienced developers into our community. You've got, of course, students at in some of these local degree programs that I talked about. So, for those of you who are students, we're looking for your feedback on what it is that's missing that you think we can help provide. But certainly, when I was a student, one thing that I know is getting a job was very much on my mind, especially as I was getting close to graduating. So, our hope is that this program can kind of provide a lot of networking opportunities. You'll see when I talk a little bit more about the structure that we're thinking of these orbit groups as not just necessarily mentorship, that some of them can also be like peer groups, like peer networking around a particular topic. So there's a bit of flexibility in the structure there. So it might be that there's a student who like really wants to be a mentor on a certain topic. That can be a good networking opportunity, but also, if there's like a particular interest group or like identity group that they want to help form or be a part of, be an opportunity for that as well. Then we have kind of just, Indian freelancers, which comprise a lot of our community. Probably like the main portion of our community is folks that fit that description. And I use the piggy bank icon for them because, and they'll know why, we all know why. Because we're all kind of scraping by a little bit financially. It's kind of how it goes. No, it's now. Yeah, they didn't have any other kind of bank icon on this free I got a list from a free icon website just to continue the theme of, we know how to do things on the cheap. So, so as indie developers, right, like a lot of times we're very enthusiastic about what we do. I found a lot of the indie developers and freelancers here are extremely willing to provide mentorship already, and in many cases are, just on an informal basis whenever people kind of wander in and ask questions like I did, right, in high school. Like, we always try to kind of pay it forward, and the same experience that I had is what I want people to have when they walk in here. But the thought is, wouldn't it be nice if all of us who are indie and freelance developers could kind of provide some of these classes and mentorship. In some cases, maybe do it on like a paid basis, while still trying to keep the price accessible, and maybe have that as like, a supplemental source of income that we all need, right? So, we're pretty good at, like I said, kind of keeping things going on not a lot of budget. So I think we can, there's a potential to do that with these mentorship groups and not kind of have to price them, in the range that like a larger organization would, right? There's lots of places that offer like classes, whether it's like summer camps or workshops or things like that in the area. But usually their pricing reflects the fact that they're a larger organization with more overhead than we have as a community. So, that's one of my thoughts as to where this could fit in for that group. Also, just, as freelancers, we need a lot of networking as well, right? So you can be a freelancer and work from home, but you need to be really good at like making connections from home. And what I've found just being in this space and working on a day-to-day basis is I get a lot more opportunities for like contract work. Just from being here and talking to people. And then last but not least, we have kind of aspiring game developers, right? And there's a ton of aspiring game developers in the area, and we really want to nurture that. And all these other groups, we're hoping that they'll be able to get something out of participating in this program. But really, like, first and foremost, actually, it is for the aspiring game developers. So some of these groups will be kind of at different skill levels. There might be some kind of intermediate level groups. A lot of them, they are going to be open to all skill levels, just like all the rest of our events and activities are. And we do a lot of kind of lessons that are geared towards like intro to a particular topic, try to make them beginner friendly. So you can go on to the next. So the idea of Orbit is we take people in all these different spheres, you know, that are focused on their own needs, you know, on a day-to-day basis, and kind of provide a program that we hope will bring all of them together in a way that's mutually beneficial and just fun and collaborative. So go ahead, Tara, go on. Yeah, so like I said, we have certain kind of educational initiatives that we already do here. And the other thought is just to kind of organize those a little bit more because, like, you know, this is like, you know, a good, I think, depiction of how things often go at the game space. We do, you know, open office hours every Saturday from noon to 8. So we really try to keep a nice wide chunk of time open, like 8 hours on a Saturday, where we ensure that we have at least somebody here. Usually it's more people just hanging out, working on projects. And that's a good time for people to be able to just wander in and ask questions. And that's happening at the moment. Like a lot of people are taking advantage more and more of those open office hours that just come in. And some people we have coming in like every week now and just like asking the next questions on the project, you know, like, hey, you know, I got stuck on this thing over the past week, can you help? And so we sit down with those people and you know, do everything that we can to help them. But it's very kind of loose and informal. And you know, sometimes somebody might have a question about a particular game-making tool, and the person, you know, the people that we know in our community who are really good with that tool, like they might not be there that day. You know, it's just kind of, there's an inconsistency to it right now that comes from there being kind of no structure to it. So we want to add in like a little more structure and set up these groups that are tailored around particular types of tools or disciplines or, you know, particular topics. So we think, you know, that's the area where we can really bring lots of people together, is like around a shared interest, right? So let's talk about a couple of the details. You can go on next. Tara. Thanks. So the truth about this is we're still kind of figuring out some of the details, and we are intentionally kind of keeping things a bit loose at the moment because we want to give the individual group organizers and mentors as much leeway as we can to kind of define what works for the group and talk to the actual group members as it gets going. But the basic idea is these groups are going to meet you know, either on a weekly, fortnightly, every 2 weeks, or monthly basis. So, you know, we've got those weekly open office hours, and that's good, but like weekly meeting around an actual specific topic would be cool. This is a requirement that we have for the group at the moment, which is each group is going to have kind of a primary mentor who's sort of the main organizer for everything about that group. We are going to be doing lots of outreach to additional mentors, so it's not just like one mentor per group, because we want to keep like a good ratio, of course, of like very experienced people in a topic to newcomers. We are asking that the primary organizer of the group be a Tech Valley Gamespace member. And you know, there are a couple of reasons for that. The main one is just that that's going to enable you to schedule things on a much wider basis. Right now, you know, in order to utilize these shared facilities as a non-member, there's like a cost associated with that. So while we're kind of, you know, our goal with this is to get it up and running immediately. So we have a set of initial groups that the primary mentors are mostly members at the moment. For those who aren't, you can run them on Saturdays during open office hours for the time being, and you know, that'll kind of be the way we'll get some of these going. In the meantime, eventually, you know, again, we are going to ask that you become a member, but we don't want that to be a hindrance to anybody like starting to get a group up and running. If you're not currently financially at a point where you can do that, a lot of the things we do like this, you know, we work out an individual deal and stuff, because we mostly just want to to get these activities going. The actual format and content varies for each group. How's that for details? No details at all. But like I said, kind of one of the main ideas behind this is, they're meetup groups around like a shared interest. Some of them are going to be mentorship groups where they're really geared towards like instruction and being able to get one-on-one help and things like that. Others are just going to be around like a shared interest or a shared identity. And just we want to kind of facilitate developers, peer groups essentially, or just common interest groups as well. And then participation is free, asterisk for all TVGS members. And then the actual pricing beyond that, we're going to work out with the individual group organizers. And we haven't currently set any particular parameters on that. We will be, giving some suggestions around keeping the price accessible. Such as, $5 to $10 per session. Anything above that, we'll need to have a chat about, just to see if we can make it kind of fit with our vision of keeping things accessible for people in all different financial situations. But yeah, if you're a TVGS member, it's free, and that way, our goal is if you're gonna make use of a lot of these different groups, that you might be going to ones here and there. There might be a couple topics that interest you that you want to join each of those groups, and it could be that the structure for non-members is kind of $5 per session or something like that. And if you're heading to a lot of these and they're meeting on a weekly basis, it might start to make sense to become a member. And we do want to encourage more people to actually join the community as a member and be more active, be here all the time. We want you here every day. So, with those details out of the way, we're going to proceed to some introductions for the starting set of groups. We have 6 groups that we're starting up, and we're going to have a page on the website where people can suggest and propose new groups, and even volunteer to be mentors for existing groups and all that kind of stuff. Thanks to everybody who sent suggestions already. I will be sharing the link to our existing suggestion form with all of you as well. A lot of you shared feedback, and we tried to do a lot of outreach to see what topics people wanted to receive mentorship in. And so this set of initial group topics is based on the feedback we've received already, and what were kind of some recurring topics that were requested. So very grateful to our initial set of mentors. Let's hop into those introductions. And it starts with me, so you get to keep listening to me talk, as everybody wants to. So I'm Jamie. I'm going to be running a group based around Construct 2. Who's heard of Construct 2 before?
Are you going to teach Construct 3 when it's out?
Probably. I don't see why not. Yeah, Construct 3, it's a little bit funny timing for this, because Construct 3 is due to release in beta version, April timeframe, roughly. So we'll see how that goes. We do know they've announced it's going to be backwards compatible, but everything we've learned about Construct 2, we'll be able to bring your projects into Construct 3. Who knows how similar the interface will be, but one of the nice things about Construct 2, for those who don't know what it is it's a very good game-making tool for introductory level learning to make games. So it's got a very intuitive visual interface. And we expect Construct 3 will follow that trend. It'd be a real shame if suddenly Construct 3 had a terrible clunky interface, but that's kind of one of the things that the creators of Construct 2 are known for, in my opinion, is just laying things out in a very sensible, intuitive way. So yeah, we're actually running this group already. Like I said, we kind of have some mentorship things that we've been doing here and there, and we're kind of folding them into this slightly more organized, hopefully, structure. So right now this group is meeting on a weekly basis, and we have a handful of folks participating, but we're looking for more. So this is my email here. I'm going to give kind of the general URL for an overview of all these groups at the end, but for each of the mentors, I encourage you to just, of course, talk to them after the presentations are done, but also note down their email, so you can get in touch, ask questions. And we're finishing up the web interface for signing up for these groups. So in the meantime, you can individually email the instructors just to let them know that you're interested while they're gearing up to get these things going. Our goal is to get these running, end of the month time frame. Game Developers Conference happens like right around then, so it might be like they all start up after Game Developers Conference, like first week of March. Or after Game Developers Conference, the second week of March. Anyway, Construct 2, join our group. It's gonna be cool. Wait, Taro, any questions about Construct 2? I think you must know better about the group. Basically, like we teach Construct 2 all over the Capital Region, like places like the Arts Center and St. Rose, Summer, Youth Academy, and all these places. So, and I go out and teach it. So, really found we've done it as young as 3rd grade, up to then like adult ed classes. So it's really good for a wide range of people to join in. Anyone and everyone is welcome, as they are for all these groups. And it's just a lot of fun. So I definitely encourage you to join us. I guess that's all I have to say, unless anybody has any questions. Cool. All right, so we'll move on to the next. So I'm just going to ask the individual mentors to talk from up here.
Whoosh, transition it. Hi, my name is Taro Mia. I am the, so to speak, self-proclaimed Unity expert, local Unity expert here. So, in regards to Unity, so who here has heard of Unity? Please raise your hand. Who here has not heard of Unity? Please raise your hand. All right, perfect. So good. The introduction is actually in order. Unity is comparably more advanced than Construct 2 3D game engine. You can, in fact, make 3D games with this. It is completely free, and it has become quite popular and nearing towards industry standard, if not already, as neck to neck with Unreal. We're going to completely ignore Unreal, however, and just talk about Unity in this situation. It is not an advertisement for them or anything. Unity is actually quite a gigantic beast. So, at least in regards to kind of like having a group, I just signed up and have no idea what I'm doing right here, but I'll go with what I think should be the plan. So, I think it would be great if we can have like partial, small, teeny tiny lessons on like individual features that exist in Unity itself, whether that be lighting, whether that be shaders, whether that be generic programming, whether that be not so generic animation related programming, animations. Man, there's so many. AI, there is in fact a built-in pathfinding module that is actually a lot more complex than I like to admit. So on and so forth. So many things, so many tiny, stuff that you don't really realize that you need in the game until you're like, oh snap, I need to actually write this. And Unity would be like, oh no, we already have it. And then you look at the guide and it's like, why is this 100 pages long? So yeah, I like to be able to kind of like do those partials in teeny tiny bits. More common often though, with Unity related stuff, as I noticed, being the self-proclaimed Unity expert, is a lot of questions, like why does this not work? And why does this not work, number 2? And I tried this yesterday and it's not working anymore, why? So, I like to be able to answer those questions in a comparably more swift manner than I have been able to do previously. So those would be like, I like to be able to kind of have those one micro lesson, and then after that a lot of Q&A, and let's figure out what the heck is going on, why your project is breaking, sort of stuff. So that's all I have to say in that regards. In regards to making those micro lessons, so to speak, I think that is going to be pretty difficult to do on a weekly basis. The Q&A is going to be a lot easier to do on a Q&A basis. So my line of thinking is probably putting lessons in the at most frequent fortnight fashion. But in regards to like Q&A, pretty much all week or weekly would work just fine. That's all I have to say on that matter. Any questions? Yes, Tino.
Do you have a day in mind?
Saturday. I mean, it is a more advanced tool after all, and and that means I suspect more adults. By sneaking suspicion. Alright, without further ado,
Cool, thanks, Tara.
move the slides.
Oh, that's me.
Who would have thought?
Hi, I'm Jason. I guess I'm going now. Many of you know me, some of you may not. I've been working in the games industry for 15 years at a range of different companies. And then I got tired of that, so I'm doing independent gaming, indie gaming. And I also do a lot of freelance work to help pay the bills. When I was working in the industry, I was most often a lead artist, so I learned about doing pretty much all the aspects of making game art, from concepts to 2D to 3D to marketing to UI, whatever it is. I often had a team of artists working with me that I directed as lead artist, and when there was a hole that somebody couldn't fill, then I did that work. So I wanted to hopefully set up some group where I could share some of that knowledge and help people explore avenues of game art creation so that they could figure out what they like to do or what they want to do, or maybe just practice, get things done. A lot of people think that art is a magical place where things happen that I could never do. I would never be that good. I could never do that, and I totally don't believe that.
Thank you for giving us hope.
I think it just takes a lot of practice, and in order to practice a lot, you have to have a passion for doing something. So hopefully I can ignite some passion in some people and get people creating some good art. In terms of good art, some good game art, I don't necessarily want to teach this tool or that tool. If we talk about 2D art, we can talk about pixel art in Ace Sprite or in Photoshop or in GIMP, or we can talk about painting concept art in any of those programs. So we may talk about individual programs, we may not. We may talk about art concepts and what makes good art and bad art. There was a lesson last month I tried to touch on a little bit of that and did a horribly poor job trying to cram a bunch of stuff into 10 or 15 minutes. And there are all of these things I left out, and I just wish I had had an hour or two to talk about that one thing. Including perspective, I totally shut Taro down. No, we're not talking about that because I know we don't have time, but I wish I had time to mention all of these things. So this is just my effort to try and reach out and share some of the stuff in my head and hopefully get some other people excited about making art. I don't know that I can do it all by myself. When I wrote the thing up that Jim had asked for, I suggested maybe Astra could help us with 2D stuff, and another guy that I worked with at Vicarious Visions, Jeff Smith, could help us on 3D stuff. But I still have to talk to them about helping, so we'll see. If they're not up for that, I can do it because I've done everything. Okay, thanks, Rob.
Okay, I'm next.
No questions. No questions.
There's no time.
Okay, so I'll be doing digital storytelling. I have a background in somewhat in programming, not really working as a developer, but a sort of technical background. And a few years ago, I got interested in making games, started doing tutorials, and about a year ago, actually, almost to the day, actually, this Friday will be a year since Jamie's RenPy lesson that you can actually find yourself on the learning page. That got me started on making my own games, or visual novels. So I've been kind of thinking about this since Jamie kind of tapped me for this. I'm trying to think. I basically would like to feel out what if anyone is interested in working in like RenPy or Twine or similar game engines. It's a really very approachable way to program, or well, it's more like scripting, but it's very approachable way of creating a game. And if you have like writing skills or art skills, like well-developed art skills, it really can make something very fantastic. So I can I can help you with the technical part and basically how to work with Python and how to basically make a game in RenPy. But there were some other suggestions for like other people to with Twine and other game engines. So what I was kind of thinking is basically I'd like to if you're interested, I'd like to maybe talk to you about what you're interested in doing. If you've got a story that you want to make into a game, into a visual novel, you just want to learn about it in general. And then sort of get you started. That's sort of my plan, like to lay the groundwork. Now, if you look at my itch.io account, I'm effigy 13 on itch.io. You can see that I've done quite a few since in the past year. Mostly that's game jams. So I was thinking that eventually, once everyone gets their sort of groundwork and understand, under the belt, we can discuss doing, depending on interest level, and we can take a look at one of the game jams on itch.io and work together on that, assuming you don't have your own ideas. So, I find it very helpful. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Any questions?
I have a comment, which is
Yes.
we already have another additional mentor volunteer as well to help with the group, which is Abby Johnson, who does a lot of work in Twine.
Oh yeah.
So Frederick, as mentioned, a lot of experience with RenPy, which is one really popular visual novel, the visual storytelling tool. Twine is another one that's quite popular. So we'll have folks kind of able to cover lots of different bases.
Yeah. Between the two of us, we'll cover a lot of ground, that's how. So I hadn't really heard from Abby, so it's good to know that she's going to be involved.
Recent development.
Okay. Yes.
Have you used Fungus in Unity? And
I have actually used Fungus in Unity. Yes, I've used that. I'm more familiar with RenPy, but I definitely could get some help out with understanding how to use Fungus. At this point, I'm still kind of learning it myself, but I can get you computer started. Yes?
My question is, how frequently and when are you thinking about doing this?
Well, I'm kind of leaning more like weekly or bi-weekly or fortnightly. I don't think that word gets used enough. So I would it kind of depends on the day. I could do evenings or like weekends. Basically, is what I'm kind of aiming for. And depending, evenings could kind of get a little hectic if we wanted to do it every single week. So I do have a lot of evenings that are kind of taken up by other stuff. So, but if you want to do it on weekends, like Saturday, Sunday, we could probably do it more frequently.
Is that something that we can pull from the location?
Yeah.
Right. Because I wanted to ask Jason, I'm also when do you plan on doing, how frequently and when do you plan on doing your art related?
I hadn't really thought about that. I'm not sure. I find myself pretty busy doing housework and freelance work and my own work. So I think probably on the weekend, Saturday or something, maybe once a night or once a month. Wow, let's do it all the time.
It really did.
It really inspires me.
Once a month. I would hope that we could do more, but I want to start slow and ramp up.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions? And if you want to talk to me later, feel free.
Oh my goodness.
That's me.
Yes.
Hey guys, so I'm the now former CTO and co-founder of Dealing VR. Decided it's time for me to move on, and that includes coming here and spending some time with you guys. So I've done quite a bit, like from Google Cardboard to both Unity and Unreal stuff with VR, and even like the Cave at RPI. So I have like a bunch of experience in just creating virtual reality experiences in all sorts of different platforms. I can definitely tell you what bad VR experience is, but people are still generally figuring out what good VR experiences are. So I think how I'm going to run it mostly is kind of more reactive. So I like to do like weekly, if possible, like I guess with the mobile VR, kind of just come in and share what you're working on in VR, have other people try it, and I can give you some feedback. We can do lessons probably a little less often than that. I'm also freelancing and doing all that fun stuff right now. So I'm thinking like once a month, if there's like any topic that people particularly want in VR, I can come up with some slides and a demonstration for that. Yeah, so essentially just let me know what you guys want to do, and I'll be willing to help out. Any questions? Awesome.
Okay, so we have one of our mentors who couldn't make it tonight. I just asked, so yeah, Abby couldn't make it, but Abby's going to be running our sixth and final orbit group, which is going to be themed around women in games. And so let's make sure that I'm correctly relaying the information that Abby sent me. So as many of you know Abby already. Actually, as mentioned, she'll be volunteering as a mentor for the digital storytelling group as well. So she is a recent graduate of UAlbany, who has multiple degrees in women's and gender studies, and does a lot of work and research based around women and video games, and all the different ways that they intersect. So, in terms of like vision for the group, it sounds like Abby is wanting to just talk to all the other people who are interested to start off with, and then kind of go from there and figure out the details. So, so she just encouraged everyone, especially since she couldn't make it tonight, to definitely feel free to email her for the moment and ask any questions that you have. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'll probably not try to field them, but that's the email to send them to Abby. So we're very grateful to Abby and to all of our volunteer mentors who have stepped up to lead a group. So that's our 6 groups. I want to encourage all of you to ask questions of the folks that are here. If there are any that you didn't think of already, go chat with them if you want, if you're interested. Right now, our next step is just to get these up and running and to start spreading the word to potential participants. And we'll also be looking for, as mentioned, for each of these groups, additional mentors. So I'll be probably pinging lots of you who I already have an idea might have an interest or have some experience in each of these areas. But I just want you to also kind of just ruminate, let things kind of percolate through, and if you can think of any other topics that you think it would be really great to have an orbit group around. Our idea is just to kind of keep expanding the program from here and adding more groups as quickly as we can, find mentors and participants for them. Tech Valley Game Space, we're going to be providing kind of like administrative support for all these groups. So if you have any questions at all, and it's not necessarily about any one of the groups in particular, or you want to like suggest a new one and you can't quite figure out the process, feel free to email us through the contact form on our website. But I also want to direct you towards the kind of landing page for the program. So you can see this is very recently set up, so there's not much there to show at the moment. It's just that the page exists. However, that will be changing tonight. So we'll be adding at least the initial 6 groups that we just mentioned. You know, the title of them and contact information, just in case you missed, you know, contact details. And then we're going to be, you know, adding some more structure to the website in terms of how you can sign up for the groups and stuff like that. But for now, we're just going to kind of facilitate communication, either like by having people directly communicate with the mentorship group organizers, or if you can't get hold of them for any reason, email us through the website, and we'll sort it out. Any questions about that, or about like overall logistics of the program and how to get involved? So yeah, don't delay if you're interested in any of these topics and getting in touch, because as I said, our goal is to get these started up in the next few weeks. I think that's it as far as I'm concerned. Cool. Yeah.
Can the person in charge of each orbit give updates to community night?
Yeah, that'd be great. So our meeting 1 week from tonight is going to be community night, as mentioned. So that's a time for everybody to share updates about anything that they want to share updates on. So that could be a project you're working on. We do kind of a show and tell thing, as I mentioned, which is just a good time to find out what other people are doing locally and connect with people. So and we do a couple other like fun activities, like, you know, many of you participated in our Shark Tank. If people want to pitch game ideas, we usually give them the opportunity to like, hey, I've got an idea, like I'm looking for help, like who's interested, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. So Chris, Chris is the main organizer for community night, and particularly for the Shark Tank portion. And so yeah, I think we should add that as like, you know, if you know, we will encourage all of the mentorship group, you know, organizers to stop by. And if not, if you can't stop by, then maybe if you just have any updates that you want to share, just to kind of keep people in the loop, then we'll pass those along to the community. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Cool. So yeah, we're really excited about this new program. We hope you are too. And you know, keep an eye on the website as well for more info, but particularly check back at that page often, including tonight and tomorrow. I'm just about to go and fill in some more details now. So thanks everybody.